Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Frenemies, joined as always by David Swor. I am DJ Cox. David, we are getting close, buddy. We are finishing these bad boys up with a few days into the season already here, but we're going to get these bad boys done. And today, if it's not obvious by what you're looking at, we are doing the Minnesota Twins, David.
Wait a minute. I thought we were doing the Tennessee Temple Crusaders. I noticed your Crusader hat. So I didn't study for the Twins. I studied for the Crusaders, but I think I can wing it, DJ.
So what do you think about that center fielder for the Crusaders, that guy? What do you think he's going to do this year?
I would feel better about him if he would tuck his shirt in or wash his uniform or tie his shoes. If he did any of those three things, I would feel better.
Yeah, that guy. I heard he's a one-tool player. You know what I mean? He's just a big tool. So,
DJ, wait a minute. I got to tell you something. I meant to mention this on Facebook, and I forgot. I saw a picture of you as a coach. I'm not sure from what year. And in perfect DJ fashion, neither side was tied. What was up with that?
Are you still doing that? I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Hey, look back the last few days. Somebody posted. That's why I didn't want to comment on it. It seemed kind of sentimental. Somebody posted a picture from your early. It was definitely early coaching days because there was about 10 or 15 pounds that were not there yet. I'm just gonna throw that out there too. But so it was definitely early on. But your shoes were not tied, and I thought, man, this is classic DJ right here.
You know, that just is what it is. Some things never change. You know, when Nicole was going to marry me, my mom says, this is what you get. He is what he is. He's not going to change. So she just shook her head and was like, I guess I know what I'm signing up for. So here nice. I am, man. You get what you get.
That's right.
So, David, why don't you kick us off talking about the 2020 Twins?
Well, it was a typical Twins season, if I'm just being honest. And I can't say that any other way because, as usual, they won their division. As usual, they made the playoffs. And as usual, they got swept. So, DJ, I just got to ask, what is it with this deal with the Twins? It's usually the Yankees that sweep them. Of course, they ran into a bad team to play in the playoffs, which is the Astros. But any idea what's going on here?
I do not know, David. And I think obviously the Twins don't know either. It's like they cannot get over that hump. And like you said, normally it's the Yankees that are kicking them to the curb every year. We talked about this last year in our Twins podcast. They just can't get over the Yankees hump ever. Haven't done it. And then they run into the Astros of all teams, who are not the team you want to run into in the first round like that. And they were toast, man. It was over. And I don't know what it is, David. I really don't. You know, but that has it's got something to do with something because, you know, these franchises like the Astros last year, they were not even a winning team in the regular season. They ran the table all the way to Game 7 of the ALCS, you know, and they're built for playoffs. They're a team that's really good in the playoffs. The Twins dominated the regular season yet again. And yet again, they're out in the first round, and it's got to be very frustrating for Twins fans. It really does. I can't imagine you just totally running the show, kicking everybody's butt all year long, and then you get to the first round and your confidence is shot because you know it's coming. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it is super crazy. And now we're across multiple managers. So Rocco Baldelli is the manager now. Ron Gardenhire was the manager before, I believe.
Yep.
So, like I said, this is nothing new. I actually feel bad for Twins fans.
Me too.
But last year, they were 10th in batting average, 243, but 3rd in homers. Nice. And just to be honest with you, Nelson Cruz put the offense on his back and carried it last year. 303, 16 homers, 33 RBIs. They also got a good season out of our boy Eddie Rosario. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but I'm thinking he had 14 or 16 homers as well. And so those two guys kind of carried the team offensively. They were 3rd in the league in pitching, DJ, and this was a shocker. So the Twins are famous for getting these mid-level rotation guys and making something out of them. And sure enough, they did it again. Kenta Maeda was 2nd in the Cy Young voting. I can't think of his name. His name just slipped me. Michael Pineda, former Yankee, had a good season. Jose Barrios had a good season. And so I don't know how they pulled it off. I really don't. But third in ERA, so they were pretty legit on the pitching side. Bullpen was good as well. But as is kind of typical with the Twins, man, we've had some turnover over the last year, and so this is a team I don't know about, to be honest with you, DJ. Why don't you tell us a little bit about who they added and who they lost?
You got it, buddy. And so just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying there, Rosario had 42 RBI, led the team last year.
Wow, I did not realize that.
And then the Twins got beat very quickly, like you said, in the playoffs there. They lost to the Astros 4-1 and 3-1 in those playoff games, and they were out just like that. And Nelson Cruz had both RBI in those two games. So what you said is completely true. They piggybacked big time off of Nelson Cruz. They rode him the whole way there. He was the only guy that showed up in the playoffs, and they were out, man. It's crazy. It's unfortunate. And on to 2021, they go with key adds of Andrelton Simmons from the Angels, Kyle Garlick from the Braves, Matt Schumacher from the Blue Jays, J.A. Happ from the Yankees, Alex Colomé from the White Sox, Hansel Robles from the Angels, Keon Broxton from the Brewers, Sean Anderson from the Giants, and Luke Farrell from the Rockies. From the Rangers. Sorry about that. So, David, what do you think out of all those guys that they added here? Who's the key guy there?
Man, I love Donnie. I've talked about this before. The White Sox were very dumb for letting him go. He's proven. Listen, I don't know what it is teams don't like about Alex Colomé, but he's been one of the best closers in the league now, not for just last year, but for several years. And it seems like he, just got a kind of a middling contract. I think just 1 year or maybe two. But Alex Colomé, that was a great signing for the Twins. He's going to fit right in. He's used to playing in that division. He knows the hitters. I love that signing. What do you think, DJ?
Yeah, I loved it too. And I seen him pitch the other day and lock it down for him. And he looked really good on the mound, no doubt about it. And the Twins needed a guy like this. For a long time there, they had Joe Nathan running the show. You did not want him to run into Joe Nathan at the end of a game. And, if they can get Colomé to be that guy at the end here for him, that's something less that they have to worry about here as they make it into the playoffs here for another season. And I like the J Haps signing. He's kind of at the end of his career here. Try to catch him for one more year and see what you can get out of him. Andrelton Simmons is about as good as it gets defensively at shortstop. He's not exactly a hitter, but defensively, he's one of the best, if not the best defensive shortstop in the game right now, which is crazy. That man can glove it, no doubt. So some good pickups. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Blanco was not very good defensively, and they talked about that in the offseason, how they wanted to improve their defense, and they definitely did that with Simmons. Like you said, he might be the best. If not, he's very close to it. And honestly, I know he doesn't put up a lot of homers and RBIs, but he's about a 300 hitter most of the time, 290, 300 right in there. And so it's not like he's a zero. I did like that pickup as well.
Yep, I agree. So I'll read off the drops to you here. Marwin Gonzalez to the Red Sox. Alex Avila to the Nats. Lamont Wade Jr. to the Giants. Edmundo Vargas to the Cubs. Rich Hill to the Rays. Jake Odorizzi to the Astros. Tyler Clippard to the D-backs. Trevor May to the Mets. Sergio Romo to the A's. So, David, that was a lot of pitching that went away there from them. A couple starters there, a couple relievers, actually 3 relievers, 2 starters, and then your guy Gonzalez went as well. So what do you think about the guys they lost this offseason?
And that Rosario one, it hurts. And it hurts even worse, DJ, after I go back and look at, what they added, which was really nothing to replace him. I don't understand that. I think, and we'll talk about this later, I think they were expecting Kirilloff to come up and maybe take that job. I may be mispronouncing that name, but he's in the minors right now. And Rosario, we're 5 games into the season. He's already bashed a couple of homers. I didn't realize he led the team in ERA. And what makes that really sting, not ERA, RBIs, what makes that really sting is they only signed him for $8 million, 1 year.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. What's a guy got to do? I mean, they should have totally ponied up to get Rosario. And like you said, man, they lost a ton of pitching, a ton out of that bullpen. And I think they were going to regret letting a couple of those guys go. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree totally. They lost some starting pitching here too, which is going to hurt them a little bit, I believe. Odorizzi and Rich Hill are 2 just absolute studs. I saw some stats on Rich Hill the other day, David. It'd blow your mind how just underrated he really is. You know,
Yeah.
that man is like our age, and he's still pitching in this league right now, and he's just running people down at tremendous stats for him. And you know, who's to say he's not going to do it again? Everybody keeps thinking that he's going to have a bad year and be out of the league. He does not stop, man. So that's a tough loss too. Trevor May, I thought, is a really good pitcher in the bullpen. Tyler Clippard, I've always loved as well. So it took a little bit of a hit pitching wise, no doubt. But David, let's talk about that 2021 lineup, which is pretty stacked. So go for that.
It is. So for full disclosure, I did not include Josh Donaldson in this projection. He's currently injured. I know he'll be back. I'm not even sure how long he's going to be out, but he's not included in this projection, just for full disclosure. So I have Luis Arias, I think is how you say his name, at third. Great average hitter, 321, 0 homers, 13 RBIs. Jorge Polanco moves over to second, 258, 4 homers and 19 RBIs last year. The man, the myth, the legend, Nelson Cruz, 303, 16 homers, 33 RBIs. DJ, I think he hit another one today, which I think makes him 2 or 3 for the season. And he's still the man. He is still the man. I passed up on him in fantasy this year. The dumbest mistake, I think one of the dumbest I've ever made, because I just thought at some point this has got to end, right? He's like 42. Don't look like it's going to be this year. So Max Kepler, batting cleanup, right field, 228, 9 homers, 23 RBIs. Byron Buxton. Now, this is one they kind of flew under the radar last year. We know he's a Gold Glove center fielder. I had no idea he had 13 homers last year. So last year, 254, 13 homers, 37 RBIs. Right now they have Jake Caven left, former Yankee prospect, a good 4th or 5th outfielder, not a very good replacement for Eddie Rosario. 221, 4 homers, 15 RBIs. Miguel Sano at first, 204, 13 homers, 25 RBIs. Mitch Garver, man, what a disaster Mitch Garver was last year. 167, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. And they've got to be dependent on him to make a comeback. And then Andrelton Simmons at short, 297, 0 homers, and 10 RBIs. So, DJ, what do you think about that lineup?
I really like the lineup. I've always had. I think Garver is going to bounce back. I really do. Nelson Cruz is just an absolute animal. Like you said, he's on a Hall of Fame pace, man. He keeps it up a couple more years. He's going to be closing in on 500, man, and that's a magic number he can get to with the way he's been swinging it, man. So I believe in him. I believe in Donaldson, too. He had a bad average year last year with a really good on-base percentage, though. That's the thing you get from Donaldson, a lot of hit-by pitches, a lot of walks. Max Kepler I've always loved. I'm a big fan of his. He had a bad year batting last year. He should bounce back, too. Byron Buxton's just a stud, all-around player. He had the defense down forever. Now he's starting to hit a lot, like you said. So he's dangerous as well. Miguel Sano, I heard his pants are legendary. Nelson Cruz put his pants on, and it made Nelson Cruz look like he was 100 pounds, man. Unbelievable how big he is. You got to check that out, man. It is hilarious. Nelson Cruz is a monster, and he gets in Miguel Sano's pants. He looks like a kid in them, man. It's so funny. So funny. But Sano's a monster as well. And this lineup, I love it. I really do. I think it's, just really well. So what do you think about the pitching? Talk us about the rotation, David.
Well, they've got the big three still on top there. So Kenta Maeda, second in Cy Young voting last year, 6-1, 270. I didn't realize how many hitters Maeda K's. So he's really amazing. I mean, you can't say he's out of nowhere. He's always been a decent pitcher, but I had no idea he had that ability. So he's going to be their number one starter. Jose Barrios, 5-4 with a 4 ERA last year, a little substandard by his standards. He's, as we've already seen this year, I think he pitched 6 or 7 shutout innings his first start. He's a great pitcher, great number 2 or number 1. Michael Pineda, 2-0, 338, very inconsistent, but awesome at times. And a guy you need to watch out for. Jay Happ, I'm like you. He's pretty underrated. I thought this was a great replacement for Rich Hill or Odorizzi. Makes a ton of sense. They got him kind of on the cheap, 2-2, 347 last year. And this is where I have a problem. So this pitcher is replacing either Odorizzi or Rich Hill, however you want to look at it. And you got Matt Shoemaker. And nothing against Matt Shoemaker, DJ, but he's a guy that should probably be your 6th starter on a playoff team, maybe middle innings type of guy. But he's going to be starting for him, 0-1, 471. And West Virginian Randy Dobnak is your sixth starter. I really want him to make this rotation and stick, but it seems like he can't do that. He was in the bullpen a lot last year, but just a guy to keep an eye on. I just had to throw in there that he was a West Virginian. And then we have a man, Alex Colomé, closing. Great pickup. I love it. So I like the rotation, DJ. It's very good. It's not real flashy, I guess you would say, but it's going to keep them in a lot of games. What do you think?
Yeah, actually, I'm kind of giving away my position battle here, but Dobnik over Schumacher is what I'm looking at there, man. I kind of think that that's the battle for the fifth spot there in the rotation. That's a big time position battle. We'll see how that pans out there to go with that. But I think, like you said, 4 really good starters, and then we'll see what happens in that 5 spot. But I'm also rooting for Dobnik because I think he's a lot better as well. So since we kind of went there, David, then what's your position battle?
I had left field. And to be honest with you, I don't have the guys' names here. They were all give me just a second. Let me look here to make sure. I thought I'd written them down, but I've lost it here. Oh, here we go. So we got Garlick, Cave, potentially Kirilloff, which I think he plays more in right field. I can't believe on a playoff-ish team anyway, that Cave is your left fielder. And I like Jake Cave really well. I just got to think they have something else in mind there. So that was the position battle that I have. I don't know that much about Garlick. I know a lot about Kirilloff. I'm going to give away my prospect that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. He's a thumper. And that's kind of what the Twins like. So we'll see. Like I said, right now it's Cave. I don't think it's going to stay there. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I really believe that, there's going to be some battles out there in the outfield spot. I've already heard that on their previews on MLB Network too. They were talking a lot about that. So that's a good point, you bringing that up. Because they counted on him a lot in the playoffs last year, David. He started his first game in the major leagues was in the playoffs last year, and he raked. To his credit, man, like I would have peed my pants. I'm not kidding you. Like I would have gone 0 for 4 with 4 Ks, probably all looking. I might have taken one off the shoulder just to try to stay on the team, like dove in front of home plate and been told to come back up and swing again or something like that. But there's no way I could have handled that situation. He did a great job handling that stress of the playoff game and hitting like he did. So hand it to him on that for sure. That was awesome. So team strengths, David, I got that lineup, man. I'm a big fan. Like I said earlier, I'm just going with that. I already talked about all the guys I really like in that lineup. Anderson Simmons is not going to hit homers for you, but if he can get on base at the bottom there, set up for the top, that makes the team even stronger. So what do you think, David?
I'm going to go with the starting. Again, it's very underrated. A lot of those guys are high strikeout guys. Jose Barrios is an ace. I think most people think of him more as a 2 or 3. I think he's an ace. If Maeda can be what he was last year and Pineda can live up to his potential, J-Happ is a sneaky number 4. That number 5's got to work itself out, but for the strength, I'm going to go with their starting pitching.
Weakness, man. I could have gone a lot of different ways with this, but I just – when your team weakness is losing in the first round of the playoffs, that's got to be it, David. I mean, it really does. Like, I can't go anywhere else with this. Like, they've got to, like you said, I thought the strength is their lineup. You think it's their starting pitching, so they're obviously stacked with everything they need to make the playoffs, but they can't get past that hump, man. And that is something, David. It's something that nobody can figure out. And it is their weakness by far. It has to be. That's the only thing I could think of. So what do you think, David?
Well, you're going to laugh, but I put their lineup as a little bit of a weakness here. And let me tell you why. Let me explain myself a little bit. And I mentioned it before, I hate that Rosario move. I hate it.
Yeah, that hurt.
He's your big RBI guy. Like I said, I'm expecting at some point some regression from Cruz. I like Kepler a lot, but he's your typical high strikeout, high home run guy. I'm not in love with that. Donaldson can't seem to stay on the field, so that bothers me a little bit. Although I like Arias as well, but he's not going to hit you with any home runs at all. So at this point, I like their lineup, but I don't love it. I like their bullpen better than I like their lineup, so I'm going to say the lineup. But I think you actually hit the nail on the head. I think it's starting to get up here a little bit, and maybe it's been up there in their heads for a while. But if I'm the Twins GM, I need to push the chips through the middle a little bit more to make this team believe in themselves. Don't you think, DJ? I mean, are the Twins really known for making deadline moves? Nope. They usually just kind of ride it out.
Good point.
Man, if you got a good team like last year and you can win, throw those chips in the middle, man. Bring in that big bat or that big arm or whatever it is
Good
that you
point.
need.
Yep.
They need to quit riding the fence. So I agree. I agree with what you said is the weakness.
I like that a lot, David. That's a very good point, man. It's on him. That's a great way of looking at it because when you think deadline, you don't ever go to the Twins and making moves, man. You're so right about that. They'll go to the farm system and they'll bring up guys like that, and they'll kind of tweak things here and there, but they never go be at somebody big. I like that, man. Hopefully this deadline that changes. A great point. So my prospect, David, is Royce Lewis, and unfortunately, Royce is out for the entire season with a torn ACL. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's their number 1 or 2 overall prospect. 266 batting average in the minors, 331 on base, 30 bombs, 150 ribbies, 320 hits, and 1,200 minor league at bats. He's 6'2", 200 pounds. He plays short, third, and center, so he's very versatile. I think that they're looking long term at him at shortstop. Anderson Simmons is kind of a band-aid for them right now until he's ready to go. And from everything I've been hearing, David, this kid's the real deal. And they've been looking forward to him coming up very much so. And if it wasn't going to be this year, obviously will not now with the torn ACL. If he recovers fine, he's got a shot at 2022. And if not, then for sure 2023, he's definitely going to be with the club there. So who do you have, David?
I like it. I had Andrew Kirilloff. He was their first round pick in 2016. As you said, he made his debut in the playoff, which is the first Major League Baseball player to ever do that. His big thing is when he hits the ball, it hits the barrel of the bat. I forgot to write it down, but his barrel percentage is out of this world. So generally when he hits the ball, he hits it hard. And DJ, I didn't look up anything about him in the playoffs. Did you say he hit the ball pretty good in the playoffs?
Yeah, he did hit the ball. I didn't get his stats on that. I was meaning to bring that up too a little bit when you were talking about position battles. But yeah, he did. I saw a little clip on how he was playing a little, he's playing really well. They were talking about how he just stepped up in that situation and he played good. He really did. And he showed Minnesota that he's trying to be here to stay. And they talked to him one-on-one, and he didn't want to go back to the minors, and I'm not sure. I think they sent him down here to begin with, but he'll be back up. He's not going down there forever, and he's going to be back at a lot of points this season. So that's a good prospect, definitely to keep an eye on, because when you make your debut in the playoffs, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't even know about him because they were out so fast, so they probably didn't even get to see him. But he's legit, man. I agree with you 100%. Good call on that.
Yeah, keep an eye out for this guy. He's a future star.
No doubt. So, David, go ahead and tell me your favorite memory of the Twins.
Man, it's probably the same memory you have, to be honest with you, DJ. I got to go back to Game 6 of the 1991 World Series. I mean, you got to go here, right?
Yes.
I feel bad for stealing your thunder because this is your guy.
That's okay.
It wasn't only the home run, DJ. It was the awesome catch to rob an extra base hit. And then what gets left out is he almost threw out Pendleton back at first base in that same play. I mean, it was a rocket. And so when I think of the Twins, I think Kirby Puckett, and I think specifically of Game 6 of the World Series. That's a game when he literally picked his team up and threw him on his back and said, "Let's go, boys." And that's definitely my favorite memory of the Twins.
You nailed it, man. That is it. And like you said, when he caught that ball, it's like his body went into the fence and he sprung out of it and just chucked that thing. The famous Jack Buck call, "We will see you tomorrow night," after Puckett hits the walk-off. That's a famous classic announcement there for an announcer. It's awesome. Game 7, the Twins obviously went on to win one of the greatest World Series of all time. Smoltz and Morris in Game 7 that went extra innings. Awesome World Series that was. Just absolutely unbelievable. Those two, Smoltz and the Smoltz pitched his heart out, man. I still can't believe he lost that game. It was just crazy to think those two were going so long and so far and hard at each other. What a classic game that was. That's another one I watched during quarantine, was where they were playing all those games. Game 7 of the World Series is played a lot. Game 6 is played as well. But Kirby Puckett was my man, no doubt. Chicago guy, center fielder, very short. So it kind of fit exactly what I am. So I've always looked up to him. It was heartbreaking when he passed away. It was also heartbreaking when he got hit in the eye by Dennis Martinez. I will never forget that. I thought, oh my gosh, when he got hit square in the eye like that, I didn't know his career was going to be over because of that, but it definitely changed his whole life. And he went downhill, not only physically, but he also went downhill mentally. It destroyed him. He did a lot of bad things toward the end of his life, unfortunately. But before that, he was a really good guy and a really good player. It's amazing to see how one bad thing that happens to you, David, can kind of derail your life. And he couldn't control it. And from everything I've heard, he's a Christian. I was a Christian, so hopefully he's where he needs to be right now. But man, what a great player. I always love to watch him play. That man hustled. That man gave everything he got. And he is the face of the Twins, out of everybody, if you ask me. And for sure, Hall of Famer, just an absolute stud. So no doubt my guy. And Kirby, great memory there. So trivia, David. I'm going to go ahead and let you go first, buddy.
All right. The Twins have 8 Hall of Famers. We're going to have to expand a little bit because this isn't necessarily guys that went in as Twins. This is guys that played for the Twins as well. How many of them can you name?
Harmon Killebrew, Kirby Puckett, Tony Oliva. Oh, no, I already missed one.
This is tough because, like I said, I expanded this a little bit. Probably shouldn't have done that because there are a couple of these I wouldn't have got because I forgot that they played for the Twins.
That's okay. It'll make it a little trickier. Well, Jack Morris.
Yeah, I love Jack Morris. By the way, can I just throw that out there? I love Jack Morris.
Yes,
I was so angry for years that Jack Morris wasn't in the Hall of Fame. Anyway, he's a man's man.
He got there, man. Yeah. He really did. Bert Blyleven's another one. That was one we loved. Me and you fought about Bert Blyleven. Together we fought on that one on how he should be.
Fighting for him.
Fighting for him, yep. How he should have been, and he finally got in. So that's number 4 there. You say 8?
6, 7, 8. Yeah, actually there's 9 because I didn't have him on this list. So this is bad.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Whatever list I found, he wasn't on it. So actually, you know what? I bet the trivia question was made before he was in. No, because Morris got in after. Never mind.
So let's see. Rod Carew.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm getting stumped.
This guy, I don't think you said him. If he did, I didn't. It didn't register. He played for the Brewers. Did you talk about him and the Blue Jays?
Oh, Paul Molitor. Yeah. You forget about him as a Twin a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. It was the tail end, I think, of his career. The other guy played for the Yankees and the Padres. I'm trying to think who else he played for. Big old dude. I used to love him.
Oh, Dave Winfield.
Yeah, Blue Jays, right? And
yep.
Maybe the Indians right there at the end. This guy hit the longest home run in Twins history.
Wow, really?
Now listen, I did not even remember that he played for him. He played for him in 2010 and 2011. So in our time, he looks like he should be a Minnesota Twin too, just to be honest with you. Big old stud of a guy.
Ouch. That one's got me, man. I have no idea who that would be.
Jim Thome, 490-foot home run. I'm not sure. I guess that would have been in the new stadium. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But it was 490 feet. Then the last guy, he was a pitcher, a lefty. Pitched for him in 87 and 88. Again, I didn't even know that he pitched for him. That would be Steve Carlton. Oh,
I would have never got that.
No. So the Twins have a sort of rich history. Most of those guys stay with the Twins. Several of them did. They're not known as Twins necessarily, but they've had some good players go through the Twins. And again, that's why, because of their history, I want to see the Twins go all in, man. I'd like to see them back in the World Series, to be honest with you.
I agree 100%, man. That's a good list, and I'll take 5 on that one out of 9. That's not too bad, I guess.
Very good. Very good. I wouldn't have got a couple.
All right, so David, speaking of the 91 team, okay, name that double play combination for the Minnesota Twins in 1991? Your shortstop and your second baseman. You're gonna get this. I got faith.
Gary Gaetti. No, he played third, didn't he?
Yes.
Gary Gaetti.
Oh no, not Gary Gaetti. Sorry, I always get these two scrambled.
I do too. I know. I'm gonna get it mixed up too. This is the problem.
You went GG on
They
me.
were both twins. They were both twins a long time, right?
You went GG on me. Hint, hint.
I know. I'm not going to get this. It's like I knew Gaetti played third.
Yep, he
and
did.
The other guy,
who is also GG.
Why can I not think of who that is? He was the second baseman.
He was the shortstop, but your second baseman is the second baseman. Yes, you got
it. Okay, shortstop. I'm not going to get it, DJ. I'm letting you down on this one. And I should know this. As soon as you say it, I'm going to know it because, like I said, Gaetti and this other guy were together all along.
Greg Gagne.
Greg Gagne.
Yep. Good on the Gaetti, though. Gary Gaetti and Greg Gagne sound so much alike that I completely baffled that. I thought you nailed it. So I gave it to you a little early.
You got Dan Gladden in there, too. That's a
Oh, yeah.
In the past. I think he had a clutch hit in there somewhere. I was reading.
Yes, he did.
Let's see. Who else? Puckett was in center. I think Gladden was in left, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Was Herbeck on first?
Yep. Yeah, Shane Mack on the 87 team in right.
Okay.
Tom Brunansky was the catcher.
Yes, Tom Brunansky. I love Tom Brunansky. Hey, DJ, I know we got to wrap up, but we need to play the name game sometimes.
Yes.
That was so much fun back in the day on those road trips. One of these days we'll have to do it. It might be boring podcast stuff, but we'll have fun.
Well, when we did 7-hour trips on the bus, man, we were going back and forth. That was a lot of fun. I completely forgot about that. That's definitely a fun game. So, David, starting with the Metrodome and going now to Target Field, have you been to either one of those?
No, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this and get this out of the way, and you can correct me or whatever. Why does Target Field not have a roof? Go.
I cannot explain that. End of story.
That's the dumbest thing ever.
Yes. Don't play
I've never been to either. Target Field looks awesome. It really does. You got the city kind of there in the background and everything. And I think Target Field looks amazing. I think that sandstone that's in the background, like behind the catcher there. So it looks like a great stadium. I would love to visit it, but I've never been there.
David, that one is 6 hours for me, and I'm ashamed to tell you that I've never been to Target Field. Yeah, it's right around the corner, man. That's the closest one that I've never been to. I'm ashamed on that one. However, David, I did go to the Metrodome, so I'll make up for it a little bit. Before they tore that gigantic piece of garbage down, I did go to see that. And I kid you not, David, when I think of how good Kirby Puckett was, it makes me even think of how great he truly was. When you have to look literally up into a white sky, that is nothing but pure whiteness to find a white baseball. It is
absolutely
unbelievable. I'm out in the outfield looking at the ball, trying to find it, going, how are these outfielders seeing this ball? And they lost a lot of balls up in that dome, man. They really did. A lot of outfielders were made look stupid out there because they were looking up into a giant dome of white to try to find a white baseball.
Well,
crazy.
And did the Twins use the terrible towel back in the day too? So you had a white.
Yes.
Unbelievable. I remember talking to Ben Foster. He got to play in the Metrodome back in the day. I always thought that was a cool story.
Yes, he did.
But I'm like you, man. I can't imagine white ceiling, white towels. That sounds awful.
It probably is really awful. So the Metrodome, I'm glad they tore it down. I can't wait to go to Target Field. It's right around the corner, so that'll definitely happen. Predicted finish, David. What do you got?
I've got them in second place in the playoffs. I'm probably going to get made fun of a lot, but I only got one AL East team in. That's the Yankees. And so I've got them in second place. DJ, it's going to be another early exit. I just looked down my little playoff list, and I think they're all better than the Twins. I can't help it. I think the White Sox are better. I think the Yankees are better. I think the Astros are better. And I think the Angels are probably better. So that's where I'm going to leave it. Second place in the division, early out in the playoffs. What do you think?
I agree with everything you said, except for when you mentioned the White Sox and playoffs in the same breath. I do not agree with that.
They're in, DJ.
I think the Twins win this division easily, like always. It's not even close. They end up the 3 seed, however, behind the Yankees and the Astros, and then they match up with the Astros, who is the 2 seed, and they lose to the Astros, unfortunately. So Twins fans,
The Astros. Bye.
Playing the Astros.
It's match up with the Yankees a little bit because they got the power too. They've got good pitching. I still think the Yankees are a little bit better. By the way, DJ, Garrett Cole, 13 strikeouts tonight.
Garrett Cole dominated. I saw that. He was on the mound in the 7th still, and they were shutting him out. So, yeah, we're not going to talk about the Cubs pitching today, but we'll go ahead and move on from that. David Ben Foster, our Twins fan, are probably like me and you have mentioned before. Much love to you, Ben. I know you're probably listening to this one. This is our Twins fan that we played with, our college teammate here. And I think we both agree he's the best player that me or you have both ever played baseball with as a teammate. Outstanding player. Ended up getting drafted by the Rangers. Played some minor league ball, played some independent ball. Great guy, great human being, great family. Everything about him is awesome. When we got him, I was completely ecstatic that we brought this stud in from Minnesota to come pitch for us, a left-handed pitcher, just dominant with the bat, with the glove, with the pitching. Just a great guy, and hopefully one of these days he will get on and join us on this podcast. So, David, what do you got to say about Ben?
Yeah, Ben was the man. I can vividly remember when he showed up, and like we've talked about before, DJ, it's amazing the players that ended up at Tennessee Temple because, let's be honest, Coach Hall didn't have a big budget to be able to go out and recruit. So most of the guys that showed up there kind of just dropped out of the sky, more or less. You know what I mean? I just think of him and Dusty. Just to be honest with you, I didn't have any connection to Tennessee Temple other than my dad went there, but I never really got to talk to a coach up until February of my senior year. You just think about some of the guys that landed there. I mean, a lot of those guys were local, but a lot of them weren't. And my understanding is Ben just pretty much fell right in his lap. And Ben, he was our best pitcher. He was our best hitter, heart and soul of the team, and a lot of fun to watch. And I honestly hated. I remember back in the day, DJ walking in that gym, and you'd see Jeremy Jackson's name all over everything, and I thought that was super cool. I remember going there my junior year and saying, I want my name to be on that wall. I think it's a shame that Ben Foster doesn't get more press. Tennessee Temple is gone, and his name definitely deserved to be on a wall somewhere for that school for all he did for it. But he was a great teammate, great friend to this day, and I appreciate getting to play with him.
Agree 100%, man. That's a really good point on having, them recognize him a lot more than they really did. So that's a shame on them. And I think there's a lot of things were really going bad for them towards the end as a school. So it kind of fell away like everything kind of did. So Ben, this one's for you, buddy. And Twins fans out there, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Please subscribe to our podcast, Frenemies, on YouTube. And we are excited about the Twins this year. We think they're both going to be in the playoffs. However, out they go like normal. So Twins fans, sorry about that, but we did this one for you tonight. Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.